I don't know. No, the lights. My girlfriend streams her playing Sims, so
Really?
so that's like her thing. Bunch of lights.
I mean, I'm sure isn't that game a little too old for her?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
Jesus.
graduated.
It took me a minute to get that.
Yeah. She's actually been playing that goddamn Animal Crossing.
Hope played Sims when she was 12 also.
Have you been chewed out during Animal Crossing to move furniture around while you're playing? I made the mistake of trying to play her game, and she goes, "Hey, can you just go in there and move some furniture around?" I said, "No, that wouldn't fly in real life. No. It doesn't fly in the game."
The music will drive you nuts because a lot of times I'll just sit on the couch in the living room and she'll play on the living room television, and you'll hear the music, and it's just this monotonous acoustic guitar kind of thing, and it drives you crazy. And I don't know how she plays it. It looks boring as all hell.
Dude,
yeah.
My wife and daughter are addicted to Animal Crossing. They're playing it all the time, right? And they tell me these stories about Animal Crossing, and they give me tours of their virtual museum, their new saber-toothed tiger, the bass and mackerel or whatever. And their stories are not good. Like my stories about Escape from Tarkov and my Bitcoin generation, which I'm sure is compelling.
Dude, that is so true. I have to take tours of the aquarium every so often.
I had that tour.
It was so big, and I'm like, and then she's got to walk through the aquarium to the tank that has the big fish. She's just looking at me.
I thought the tour was over, and then comes the turtle section. I'm like,
there's nothing worse than getting 2 minutes into a chick story and being like, oh, there's not going to be a punchline. Like, there's not going to be a twist that's funny. It's just you're genuinely describing the turtle habitat.
Interpersonal problems that she has with other islanders who are fake. No. I'm not hearing work stories about fake computer people. Interpersonal. She's like, oh yeah, I talked to her today and she was very rude with me. I'm like, bitch, that's a fucking computer program.
A literal NPC. Like, it's just programmed to give like one of 5 feedback options. So yeah, I don't think I'll be playing that game. That seems to be causing a lot of frustration for some men. You know, the Animal Crossing stories in this quarantine.
Are any guys playing this game? Like,
I'm sure they are. I've heard enough about the game that it must be huge.
If I was single, I think I'd pick up Animal Crossing. That's where the chicks seem to be.
It's where you can go to other people's islands. It is an interactive kind of thing. It's a little lame though, because you're not really interacting much. You just go to their island and do what you would do on your own island while they're standing there. It's not really
just Farmville
interactive
again.
Yeah, it's another one of those type of addictive crack-like level up things.
Yeah, that's definitely not my type of game. Anthony, haven't you been playing some VR? What's that VR game that everybody's loving? They're saying it's like the best game ever.
Alyx, the Half-Life
I haven't heard
VR kind of sequel, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I loved Half-Life when it first came out. That was in 1998, 99. I got a computer just to play that game, and it was life-changing for me. I named my company Half-Life Incorporated. That's my company's name because I just thought it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen. And then it dropped off the face of the earth. They didn't come up with a really good sequel. They had some kind of add-ons and whatnot. I liked some of the other multiplayer games that came out of the Half-Life world, but nothing. And then this Alyx game comes out in VR. Now, I've been playing VR since the original Oculus. Like you were a guinea pig for Oculus. You had to buy it, sign a disclaimer thing that said you wouldn't talk about it. And it was you had to change code in the games in order to even play it on VR. And it was very complicated, but I thought the potential was there. And then when they got a little more consumer friendly, you really saw the potential, but they hadn't gotten there yet. This game really said, oh shit, they figured out VR and how to incorporate games into a virtual reality kind of world. Because a lot of games don't translate well to VR. VR is a lot of experiences. Hey, you want to see what it feels like to be on a mountain or, throw some darts at something, but it's not a real game. This is a game. It's immersive. It feels like you're in it. And the weapons work great. The interface is is better than any other VR interface I ever played. I was totally shocked by it. Valve like knocked it out of the park.
I was going to ask, which headset do you have? Which
I have all of them.
Yeah, I've got the original Vive.
I do.
I got the original Vive, and I remember having to alter config files and stuff to make everything look right for various games.
Yeah, you'd have to shove a shitload of stuff in Notepad and then find that one little line and then put it back in. It was not an easy thing. It wasn't consumer friendly, that's for sure. Oculus has done well with what's their standalone version where there's no wires? Yeah, Quest is pretty good, but at this point you still really need like a monster system.
Yeah. I've got a decent computer. I'm thinking about upgrading just because of that game. It's Felix, right? Half-Life Felix?
Alyx.
Okay. Yeah, because everybody I know who's played it is just raving about it, just like you just did. They talk about how amazing it is, and they don't want to spoil the story because I guess the story is so fun. And
yeah, the story's great. It's they don't do. Here's what VR was doing for a long time too, just jump scares. Like, and I get it. It's hilariously funny. Like when you're walking through a dark hallway in a creepy game in VR, there's something really visceral about your fear. It's not like when you're looking at a monitor. A monitor, you could go like this and you're not looking at it anymore.
Yeah.
When you know something's behind you in a VR game, you don't want to turn around because it's there and you'll see it and it'll scare the shit out of you. So
have you ever played the Brookhaven experiment?
No.
It's what you just described. You don't move around a lot. You're kind of just in one area, but there's enemies coming at you. It's super dark. Your flashlight has like 20 seconds of battery. So
dude,
you have
the
to, like,
flashlights are the worst.
You've got like a pistol and a flashlight, and the flashlight has 20 seconds of battery, maybe. And there's one level where you're in like a sewer, and so there's like east and west pipe, a north and south pipe, and one that's straight up. And spiders are crawling toward you, the size of Volkswagens. It's legitimately scary.
Kyle, is that the one where you were talking about this a couple years ago, and you're like, I kind of fucked up my hand. I must have walked to the corner of my wall, and I hit it real hard with the wand in it. I got so scared of the spider.
Took most of the skin off my knuckles, fucking punching a fucking wall. Yeah.
The way you get completely turned around in VR too, because I'll be reaching for something and hit something, and I won't even know what it is. I'm like, wait, I'm facing my computer monitor. And then you realize you're halfway across the room, hitting like a vase. You don't know where you are. It really does screw up with your senses.
It's fucking cool. I'm looking forward to where it is in 10 years. Like it's really good now. In 10 years, like maybe we're just fucking plugging a jack into our fucking ear.
We're in like the plasma screen technology of VR. It's going to get so much better so quickly.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about
is that like Alyx exercise? Like, are you sweaty afterwards? Are you like, how much work is it?
That's another thing they did really well. You could literally play the game sitting down, or you could be standing. There's different, and I like this. They did different ways of using the interface to move. So you could use the little joystick on the hand controller as a way to move, or you could do the transport, where you pick a spot on the floor, hit, and you're instantly there. They have one where you snap. They have one where you gradually go. And it's all to try to contain that motion sickness that a lot of people feel with the VR. I get that with flying games, which I love. I mean, when you're in a battle, in a fighter, and you turn the plane and you're looking at an enemy over your shoulder like this, you start just getting nauseous instantly. It's your body is saying, no, this doesn't jibe. My inner ear and my eyes aren't mixing together, so I'm going to make you vomit.
I wonder if Dramamine would help. Like say if you took something specifically for motion sickness before you played. I only got it a few times, like motion sickness from playing the game. And if I played for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, especially with something where I'm really moving around. I don't know. There was some game where there's just targets flying at you continuously, and you're literally ducking and jiving and juking and shooting and stuff. And
that's what another good thing. That's why I'm saying this game put it in a whole nother category, because it's not one of these just run and gun games where, that big heavy thing on your head isn't conducive to a real first person shooter. Like playing Modern Warfare on it would be insane. You'd be sweating. The thing would be falling off your face. It's very story oriented, Alyx, and the scenery is all beautiful. So it's not like in between the action you're bored. It really works well in that respect. The action is great. It's more of a strategic game than you would think, more so than a shooter. And those are really conducive to having that thing on your head the whole time.
Yeah. I've been thinking very seriously about upgrading to the latest Vive, whatever it is, the Index or something. I don't even know what it's called anymore.
I'm the only bitch in this call that doesn't have any of them. I need to get on it.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't have it.
Woody, I thought you had one for some reason.
Taylor.
No? All right. Thank you, Woody. That makes me feel good.
Dick, I didn't hear your words.
I said the VR porn will change your life, Taylor. You got to get on that right away.
That seems like, how am I going to go back to the real thing after that? It seems too good.
You can't. I have my hood on all the time while we're having. I just say, honey, I'm answering emails over here. Don't worry. I saw Hitomi Tanaka was filming a VR shoot, and I put my phone away, and the next thing I knew, I was in Best Buy buying one.
Who is doing the shoot? Hitomi?
Don't pretend like you don't know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Guys,
but I know it's probably a Japanese girl with big tits, right?
Yes.
Unicorn.
Yeah. Look at... All right, that must be a pretty good program. Check that out.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, the porn is really kind of frightening. It's the girl will come up to you and kind of whisper in your ear something, and between the audio and the visual, and it's so 3D, you can't describe VR to somebody. It's like trying to describe a color. But you can't show it on a monitor like you can when you Twitch a game. It just doesn't work. When you're wearing that hood and you're immersed in it, and there's a girl in front of you like that, it is just a weird experience. It feels very strange, like very realistic.
There was some clip I saw of a guy complaining about the VR porn, and apparently his complaint was like, the ratios are all off, nothing looks like real sex, and like it was a screen cap of what was happening, and it was like the naked woman like walking towards him, and she looked like she was 11 feet tall, and he was like staring at her coming towards him.
Is there integration between it and
porn.
Something like an auto blow? Because that's where you want to be. Like you want to see it and feel it and sync.
Right. You have to do something like that. I think the real future of it is that a couple will be able to track each other's movements, but just have a different body in front of you. So if you wanted to have sex with a celebrity, that person is now your significant other, and you get the feel aspect of it, unless they're really white.
Why does it matter if I eat another box of Cheez-Its? You're gonna fuck Antonio Banderas tonight.
Right? I feel like I'm getting cucked by Chris Helmsworth in this situation.
But I think that would be a logical progression to the porn thing, where a couple can play together.
Imagine how many relationships that would destroy.
Oh,
the fabric of society falling apart because you
can't even take the hood. You're just disgusted. You're wearing the hood to breakfast.
Try and come in and lie to your girlfriend about watching porn. You still got the rings. No, I told you, I'm getting real. You're buying like decoy telescopes and things. Astronomy.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, bitch, I'm looking at the Big Dipper. I'm not beating off the big titty Japanese girls who are
if you lived in that world long enough, you could start believing it was the real thing, and then there'd be that moment of, oh no, what have I done? There's this really funny bit where the guy wakes up and it's clear he's drinking all night. He wakes up in another woman's bed and he looks, and she's huge, and he's just like, oh. He gets up and like sneakily puts his pants on. He's like sneaking down the stairs, and then a bunch of kids run up to him and go, "Daddy, daddy, daddy!" And he looks up the stairs, and the woman's there. She's like, "What's wrong, honey? Why are you up so early?" And he goes, "All right then, this is my life." And he looks at the wall. There's pictures of him with that woman and the kids. He's really coming.
And then he says like Memento. He's got little things everywhere.
Yeah,
this pig is your wife.
Imagine being that actress.
Then he kills himself in the garage.
Being that actress or that actress's real life husband must be awful. Like, is no one else thinking about this? Like,
I didn't consider that.
Like, well, that would really crush my feelings.